Hey guys, welcome back to the Coffin Nail. I'm Lightbreaker, and today I'm talking with the Kings of Slam, Ingested. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hello.
Hello, pleasure, man.
Thanks for tuning in. So I gotta say, I'm quite a new listener to Ingested. My gateway album was last year's Where Only Gods May Tread, your fifth album for anyone who's new to the band. And since then, at the start of this year, you've released a remaster of your first CP, A Stinking Cesspool of Liquefied Human Remains, which might be the most metal album title that we're going to hear all year.
Almost.
It's up there.
And between those two, there is a huge gulf stylistically. So I'm wondering, it's kind of a big question to start with, but could you guys tell me if you have any conscious effort to change your sound from one album cycle to the next?
Yeah, you take this one, Sean.
I would say we don't specifically go in with the intent of changing up the sound. We don't decide, oh, this album needs to have this album needs to have that. I just think we've naturally progressed over the years as musicians that at certain points in our discography, we've not been too bothered about, segregating the fans with certain, influences or elements that we may put in there. We've just kind of gone, right, okay, we like the way this sounds. We're going to put this on the album. We presume they're going to like it. If they don't, then, it's something we're comfortable and happy with doing. So in terms of having an end point of going, right, we need to sound like this in this album or this in this album, we've never really been about that. We've just done what we needed or wanted to do at the time. So I'd say that's that.
Yeah, we just do what we want.
But how's
that's
the change?
That's it, mate.
Yeah, for sure.
If we like it, it's more than likely going to be on the album. So it's one of those.
Yeah. So you're not taking the fans thinking that you have to sound a certain way into account or anything?
Not massively. I mean, the only thing we account for when we're doing songs is maybe in a live situation. There might be something structurally or riff-wise that we might, do you know what? I wouldn't mind this being in this song just simply for the live situation. I don't think we specifically tailor-make our music to our fans. I think they've got used to the way we've evolved slowly over the past 15 years. And I think they've grown with us and have enjoyed what we've been doing. So as far as we're concerned, the way we are progressing and what level we're going at, it seems to be paying off. The fans are into it. So we'll just keep doing that.
Nice. So when you play a gig, what's the spread like of the set list across all the 5 albums?
Ooh, it's recently it's been a bit of everything, hasn't it? Really, because obviously we've had the remix and the remaster of Stinking Cesspool on the cards for a while, haven't we? Really. So we don't, like, as far back as, well, it'd have been the Surpassing tour. We started bringing Erotic Depravity back into the set, didn't we?
It's true. Yeah.
So,
well, that featured on the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah,
as well,
it did,
didn't it, re-record.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, for that. So obviously for that tour, that was quite recent. We did the whole of the first album all the way through, plus Erotic Depravity at the end. But our live set now, I guess, well, the most recent one would be the live show that we did, the live stream show, and that was kind of a bit of it all, really, wasn't it? Like, but we did quite a bit of the new stuff, because obviously we haven't had a chance to tour or any of those songs, so we haven't. Apart from that, we haven't played any of them live yet, apart from the stream. So, but yeah, it's a bit of everything. We've, like you said, we've got like 5 albums out now, so it's like we can kind of pick like our favorites, ones that we think are crowd favorites as well, and then every now and again a couple of little surprises for all the oldies in the crowd.
I think you'll find nowadays, just because the fact that we do have so much material, we do tend to lean towards the slightly newer stuff in the set, because it's something we enjoy. And like, the first album, we played those songs for over a decade, so sometimes they might get slightly neglected or pushed back for something new, but you're out there to promote something new, out there to, give something new to the fans. You don't want to keep playing the same old, 7 or 8 songs. So it's just the way it is.
No, fair enough. And for Sean and Sam, you guys have started playing 8 strings on the new album, whereas I think the entire career up to this point, you've been playing 6, right? Has that changed the sort of riffs that you've been writing?
Well, I mean, I don't do a majority of the writing myself, but Sean, he was talking to me about how he had some sort of struggles in regards to like making it sound like us still, but being on 8 strings, which is like quite a difficult it just changes your whole way of thinking about playing guitar in general, and it's really difficult to stay away from just going well, just playing Meshuggah riffs over and
Yeah, I
over
was
again.
just gonna say Meshuggah. Yeah,
You just get into that. It's just got that feeling, and you can't really do like really big chords with it. So it's about trying to adapt our style to the 8 strings, and I think that what Sean came up with was genius. Really good.
Yeah, he's spot on with that. Yeah, I mean, I did first get the 8 string, it's very easy to just hang around that low string for a while.
yeah,
But the task at hand for me was to make sure that my style would translate onto a bigger fretboard, more strings. I found that quite interesting as well, because if you're not too clued up about how guitars sound and tunings and stuff like that, I think maybe, for example, the half measures, I don't think you'd overly know that was on an 8 string, because it does hover around the mid range of the guitar frets.
right.
But I just wanted to introduce that kind of feel to it. That death metal style of riffing that me and Sam do. I wanted it to translate into an 8 string, but getting the 8 strings was just something to push us out of our comfort zone a little bit. We've been on 6 strings, like you said, our entire careers. I'd never played anything like it when I picked it up. We never went for 7 strings. I don't know why we never did, but at this point, it seemed pointless to go to a 7 string when technically what we play now should have been on a 7 string. So it's like, well, if you're going to do something that's completely take it out, go somewhere completely different with it. And to be fair, when I did pick up that 8 string, I was like, I don't know what this is. But you find things, when I pick up a 6 string, I play certain things. I pick up an 8 string, I play certain things. I love being able to write on both of them. I know some certain bands will adapt to different guitar or tuning, and they'll stick with that a little bit. But I don't want to stray away from the 6 string either. I want to have those 2 options and be able to write on both. And it works in certain ways. I'll write certain songs with a 6 string, and I'll try it on the 8, see if it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The opposite way, I'll try it off an 8 string, and that's not working. Works on a 6 string. That's how
It's the same for me as well, pretty much. Yeah. And anything that I've wrote, and I've experimented with trying to. I've got riffs that are fucking decades old that I've tried to put on to the 8 string just to see if it would come across a bit meaner or a bit more aggressive. And in some cases it works, in some cases it doesn't.
Right. Also, you don't want to complicate your live setup too much, I suppose.
That's another thing that's annoying. Yeah.
That is key.
We'll see how that goes. We've not had time to go out and fly with this stuff yet, but we're not sure where that's going to be.
It's always fun though, isn't it?
We'll figure it out. We might, at this stage, because there's so little material on the 8, if we're doing a flying somewhere and we're supporting, it's likely not going to feature on the 8 strings. We'll just stick to the 6 and then bring in the 6 string songs, the new stuff we wanted to play. But we'll see.
Fair enough. Although I can't imagine after releasing Where Only Gods May Tread last year that you play a show and not play No Half Measures, because that was one of my favorite tunes off it.
It is.
Yeah. Well, if we're headlining, you'll probably be on there, so we'll see.
Nice one. Well, Jason, for you as well, I was particularly impressed because, I started listening on the latest album, and then going back to listening to Sinking Cesspool. Man, your vocals have come on leaps and bounds. It's incredible, man. Especially, I know you've got some collaborations on the album, but the range that you alone have in Another Breath is fucking fascinating. Can you tell us how you're, especially comparing it to the first EP, so can you tell us about how you developed your vocal range? Because you've got high screams, low screams, all sorts.
Just never being satisfied with what I'm doing, really. I'm never fully happy with the vocals that I do. So I just try and just improve all the time. But the thing it's the main thing that I have now is that lyrics are very important to me. So I want you as the listener to be able to hear every word that I say, or 90% of it at least. The ones that you're intended to hear anyway. The ones that are just intelligible, there's no point to that. But all with the lyrics and stuff like that, I really wanted to work on my diction and my pronunciation and stuff. And I think, on the new album, that's definitely something that seems to have picked up way more than previous albums. But I don't know. I mean, for vocal influences and stuff like that, it's for me, it's not really so much like death metal singers or anything. It's more stuff like Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. He's a big influence on me because he's got range. Because he can do it all, like, and that's what I admire in vocalists. I mean, like, you've got some vocalists in some bands that can do like a toilet bowl gurgle, amazing, but that's all they can do. And for me, if you're doing that for more than 30 seconds, I'm gonna turn the song off.
Yeah, for sure.
Boring to me. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's boring.
I get you, man.
Fucking bores me. Most of it's boring. So it's like when I see like vocalists, like people like Bender, he's amazing. Like, because he's got amazing range. He's fucking amazing. So it's like, I like shit like that. If you can scream high, if you can scream, if you have even better, if you have different screams.
Yes, man.
I'm all about that. Like, I love range. I love range and I love pronunciation and diction. They're like, to me, they're more important than like the tone of your vocals. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
I mean, everything you're talking about there makes me think of Barney from Napalm Death. He was always good. He just keeps getting better, though. And like you say, it's quite intelligible.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's got to be like, if we're spending all this time writing all these like really fucking like intricate lyrics and shit that mean all these different things, you damn well better be able to fucking hear them.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise, it's a waste of fucking time.
Fucking sure. And I did see the video, I guess it's from the live stream that's on YouTube of The List.
Yeah.
And it's not the sort of performance you expect from the slam band vocalist, but I really like that.
Well, this is the thing. Like, it's like we started in the brutal death metal and the slam scene, and that's always going to be our bread and butter because that's where we grew up from. That's our roots. But for us, it's like we don't want to just be like the best slam band or the best death metal band. We want to fucking redefine what it means to be one of these bands. Do you know what I mean? So when people go, oh, slam, oh yeah, oh, Ingested, like then they go and search for us on YouTube and then they see a performance like that. That's, do you know what I mean? It's opening everything up. All avenues are open. So
I like them arguing about what we are as well. That kind of gets interesting, and that's the way it should be. I don't want people to necessarily be able to pigeonhole what we do. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of influences. 15 years down the line of stuff, people should discuss what we are. Do you know what I mean? Because like Jay said, we're trying to redefine what we do. You know, and if you can't pigeonhole what we're doing, then surely that's what we're doing, right? Do you know what I mean?
Too right. Can't put us in a box.
Yeah, I'd rather be talked about than not. So.
Yeah, for sure. One last thing on lyrics. On the last album, one of my favorite songs is Dead Seraphic Forms. And while there's, a lot of directed brutality in much of the lyrics, that song particularly, in the bridges, it sounded very specific. Can you tell me who or what that song's about?
You wrote that one, didn't you, Sam?
Yeah, I did.
What's that about?
It's personal.
It's actually it's a cop out, Sam. That's what that answer is.
All right, move on.
Yeah, but we kind of like to leave that mystery though about our lyrics. Like with the first like the earlier albums, it's like it's all fucking your typical death metal shit where it's like murder, blah, like, do you know what I mean? Singing about blood and jizz and all that shit. Like, but then it's like, do you know what I mean? But that again, it's like once we've done that, we've done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't want to like retread old ground. So then it's like we started writing songs that were way more personal about our own personal like feelings, experiences, things that might have happened to us. And then we change it so it's metaphorical. So then that song still retains its personal meaning for whichever one of us wrote it, but then it can also be interpreted by our fans in any way that they see fit. Yeah. So if you listen to that song and you read those lyrics or you hear the words and you think it's about a certain thing and you relate to that and that makes you feel better or that helps you, then that's what the song's about.
Nice one, man. I'm all about that. Also, very recently, you guys collaborated with, I believe they're Danish, the band Cabal.
Yeah.
For a song, what's it? Innocent Blood?
Innocent Blood, yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us what what the connection is there, how that came about?
Well, they were touring with us in America on our Surpassing the Boundaries anniversary tour. We just ended up being really good friends with them, didn't we? and then he shot me a message over and just said, "Oh, we're re-recording Innocent Blood. Do you want to do a guest on it?" And I was like, "Yeah, man."
Awesome.
But yeah,
You
they're
guys are-
fucking amazing band, really good
Yeah.
live, and they're just the sickest dudes.
They are
sickest
nice dudes,
They're
yeah.
such nice dudes, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anybody's watching or listening and you haven't checked out Cabal, go and check them out.
Absolutely.
it.
Because I only found them because of their collaboration with you. And then I went looking at them like, who these guys also have like Matt Hafey from Trivium collaborating them? I've never heard of them. Like, how do they
They're
have this
sick,
pull?
man.
That's awesome.
They are sick.
And like as I mentioned earlier, you guys have quite a few collaborations in your album. Guys from like Crowbar,
Yeah.
All Mate from the Acacia Strain, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So is there anyone else that would be on your bucket list of people to collaborate with?
Oh, on our collection list.
Yeah.
There's plenty. man.
Which ones are we missing for the collection? You're the collector, Sean.
Get the black book out.
I mean,
Get the list.
who wouldn't want Corpse Grinder on your record? Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
100%.
Just make it do a really long scream.
Just make
I
him
mean, we
scream
got-
die for the whole song.
I mean,
3.5 minutes.
we got Frank Mullen on it, so you might as well keep going up, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gallagher. John
Gallagher,
Gallagher.
Gallagher would be great.
John
Do you know what I mean?
Gallagher.
Good, yeah.
Nice.
I'd like Devin Townsend. Whoa.
Devin Townsend.
Gorgeous.
Matt Heafy. Matt Heafy.
Oh, Matt, yeah, Matt can do a bit of
Get Matt on there.
Jasta.
Jaster.
Jaster.
Fucking, the list goes on. Blythe.
Yeah.
I
Get
mean,
Blythe in, but
I
tell
want
him he
them
can't
all.
write
I like
anything
Pokemon.
political.
Sorry,
No.
say that again.
Get Blythe in, but tell him he's not allowed to write any political lyrics.
Yeah. We'll do the writing for you. Don't
They've
you
got-
worry about that,
It's got to
Randy.
be about revenge, like when you were good.
Oh!
Remember that
Salty
time you
comment.
shaved your head? Around that time, yeah?
Remember Redneck? We all do.
Oh man, that's the problem when you've got albums as good as like as the Palaces Burn and Ashes of
Yeah.
the Wake.
Actually, just them two,
Oh,
man.
Those two.
Them two.
The
them
daddies.
two can be in my both of those two albums can be in my top 10 albums. They can
I'd
take
see
two
that.
spaces on them because them two.
And you
fucking
can't take
albums-
nothing away from them at that point. Once you've done albums that good, it doesn't matter what you say
Yeah,
about the band.
They're there now. They're there, mate. They've won. They've just
They already
released
did it.
two back to back as well. Back to
Yeah.
back, two absolute top 10
Mhm.
albums. Like,
What a time, man.
fair enough.
Chimera
It
as
was
well.
a time. Kind of impossibility of reason.
Possibility of reason.
That's another top 10.
Top 10.
Stick it
that
on the
one.
list.
That's top 10.
Oh,
Well,
So-
look, I am a bit of an apologist for latter days Metallica, but they've been riding the strength of how good their first 4 or 5 albums were for 20, 30 years.
But again,
yeah.
classics. So
Yeah, like you
absolute classic album.
Can't take it away from them. Say what you
Yeah.
want about them. Keep talking about Say It Anger. They don't care. Look what they did.
Well,
They
look
did
at
it. They did it. We're
Sold
doing
millions
arenas.
of copies.
We're doing
Who
arenas
cares?
since you're in fucking nappies, lads. Do you know what I mean?
I
Not
always thought it's
stopped
funny
doing
that-
arenas since the late 80s. Let that sink into your head, man.
Yeah, man. I've always thought it's funny that like young rappers will make diss tracks against like, you know, Eminem or whatever because they know they'll get the traction. But you go to a metal gig, metal, hardcore, punk, everyone's taking the piss out of Metallica. No one's gonna fucking say a bad word in an interview, you know?
Nah, because like everybody wants that fucking Metallica money, don't they? They want that Metallica tour. No one will ever say shit.
Absolutely. Actually, maybe that could be
I
something for
love Saint
Ingested.
Anger. It's such a great album. I love it so much. Death Magnetic is a classic.
I defend Death Magnetic. It has this constant problem of they write really good riffs and then play them for 8 minutes instead of 4.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree.
But back to Ingested, the next Metallica,
Yeah, the better band, obviously.
obviously. So before touring was grinded to a halt in the last year or so, I think your last major tour was the anniversary of Surpassing the Boundaries of Human Suffering, right?
Yeah,
We did.
We started the Faces of Death tour, but it got cancelled after 5 days. So
Right. So would you in the future look at doing another tour where you play an album in full?
maybe it's just one of them things. I mean, it's like if demand's there and fans want us to do it.
Well,
Then yeah.
is it an enjoyable experience for yourselves to play an album in full, or would you rather mix it up?
I actually was all right with it. There was only a couple of songs.
I didn't
was like,
love it, I'll be honest.
Christ.
It was hard work, man.
It was a slog to get through that. To be fair, I'm glad glad we did what we needed to do with it. We put it in different territories. We even took it to Russia. So it's like, if you've not seen it, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We're not play a different album.
Yeah, we're not rushing to do that again. But like Jay said, if there's interest, we might decide to do it. I mean, I hope people aren't gunning for Architects. I'll be honest. That's
Oh god, that's going to be a nightmare.
The most painful album ever.
Really, you guys aren't?
Hopefully, we'll just skip over that one.
So it's you're that uncomfortable with Architects out of all your
Some structures on it, mate.
For us, it's a difficult. For us, it's technically difficult to play.
Okay.
Hard, man.
Back in the time when we did record it, we had something to prove, and we absolutely proved it. But
but we can't prove it again.
We've done it. We don't need to do that again. It is proved.
The proof is in the pudding, and the pudding's very stiff.
Love it. So in the absence of live gigs, you guys did one live stream back in, I think, around Halloween?
Yeah, it was.
So are there plans to do another? I mean, might be needed to be done sooner than later.
We did talk about it with the company. I mean, Lynn spoke about doing another one with the company. We didn't lock anything in, to be honest. Not sure why. Lynn couldn't leave Spain. Hasn't been able to leave Spain for quite a while. So
yeah, that's why.
We did plan on doing it. I think when we spoke about it, maybe around this time when we spoke, but it's obviously not happened. It's not something we're writing off. We may do it. We may still do what we had in mind, but things move, things change quickly. We've already got plans set in. With lockdown, coming to a close. Apparently, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's still on the cards if we need to do it.
Nice. And is there somewhere that people can watch the whole live stream back that you have done?
Not anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It was on VOD. It was on VOD for a couple of months actually. It only recently got taken down, so there was plenty of time for people to see it.
You never know.
We may do something. Yeah, we may do something with it in the future.
Yeah, but I missed the boat on that one, so I wouldn't mind a second chance for a look at
that. We'll take that into consideration.
You guys peeled, man.
Well, on your website it says that there are dates booked in May, but I'm assuming they're not going ahead, or are they?
The boss isn't in here to answer that question, so I'm going to be as diplomatic as I can. We haven't officially decided to not do it, but it's looking unlikely. It looks like it will get pushed back again. But we still want to honour that tour. So that tour at some point will happen. When that is, I'm not quite sure. But watch this space. We may be announcing something about it. We may not. I don't know because the boss isn't here. But all the tickets will still be valid for whatever happens.
Yeah, sweet.
So if you've got a ticket, don't worry. You will get a show. When Boris says it's okay.
Yeah, Boris said the lads from Ingested can go over and play Cassiopeia in Berlin in May.
Only Ingested.
Just us, no one else.
Just us. It's just because he wants to get rid of us. That's why. He wants to get us out of the country so we can't get back in.
Well, he's got rid of one of us, so it's like 3 left.
One at a time.
Nice one. So while you're stuck at home, have you guys been writing for another release?
Always writing for a new release. Never not writing for a new release.
Good.
Let's just say we're quite deep into a new material.
Mm-hmm.
We're not sure what the trajectory is going to be. We don't have a final date of anything, but we are very heavy into writing, and it's looking good.
Cool.
I'll say.
Yes, it is.
Well, like in the Spotify age, it's become more and more common for people to release 2, 3, 4 track EPs semi-regularly rather than a full album every 2 or 3 years. How do you guys feel about that format?
That's just the way the industry is moving.
Yeah.
The way people's interests are moving. They need content constantly. Things get forgotten about. I mean, look at Where Only Gods May Tread. Came out in August, didn't get to tour it. Unfortunately, it's kind of forgotten about now because that's just the way it is. I mean, it's gone. We need to move forward. That's just life. It's annoying, but that's the way it is. But doing singles every few months keeps the interest there, keeps the plays up, lets people know we're still there. You look at certain bands that have disappeared off the map for a while. I'll use Silos as an example. you know, they disappeared for a long time. Then they dropped an album, and then it
An
took them a
amazing
bit.
album.
It's great. It took them a bit of time to get, hello, we're still here. And then once they felt like that was coming back, boom, here's another single. We're still here. So the people are using it as a tool that way, making sure that people are aware that it's still about. We probably would have done something similar if we hadn't decided to remaster the first EP. You might have heard a single from us. The way, in our minds, the way we're looking at things in the future, we don't need to drop a single just to keep us in the, you know, we've got enough things coming. Not everything's been announced yet, but we'll still be in the, you know, in people's conscious light.
Excellent. Yeah, because you guys were in my top 20 albums of 2020 list, and there's
Thank you, man.
some of absolutely deserve it. But you know, there's bands like Lamb of God released. Look, it would be a good album if it was anyone else, but for Lamb of God, standards not the best, and people they just get a pass on that. And some of the other albums on my list, like you guys, Silosis, like Sharp Tooth, Havoc, bands that you know aren't big enough to get away with not touring. Like I felt like it's such a shame.
I mean, that's tough. I mean, I guess at the stage of the career, they can take slightly more risks and do things that are more personal to them, whether or not the fans are hoping to hear something like that. It doesn't really matter to them. I mean, I'm not going to say I've listened to it in depth or anything like that, so I can't really comment about the quality of it against its older material, but certainly bands like that can get away with, you know, having a bit of a blip. Whereas bands like our size, ain't no blipping, man. You got to make sure you're bringing that heat every
album's
time.
got to be ting, mate. It's got to be fucking tip top.
And that is fucking tough for all of us to make sure that that's the case. But as long as we're listening to the demos, when we finish with something that we've done and we're happy with it, then, you know, we should be good. We should be good. Do you know what I mean?
Super. Well, Sean, you're near the end of your beer, so I've just got one more question for you guys. You have lasted 15 years, which is pretty impressive for such an extreme style of a band. What would you say are the, you know, marriage tips for making a band last that long, especially since you haven't had major lineup changes or anything like that?
Yeah, we've had no lineup changes apart from like Brad dropping off a couple of years ago, and even then he was an original member. So yeah, the four of us still 15 years, original members. Oh geez.
And what makes it
work? We're like, I know it sounds like a cliche, but we're like family. You know what I mean? It's like we've grown up around each other. If you think about it, we've spent half of our lives together.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That is crazy.
We've seen all the areas,
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah,
we've seen the bad and the ugly. We've seen each other at our best. We've seen each other at our worst.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's just we just know each other. We know how each other thinks. We know what each other needs when we're on tour and shit like that. And yeah, we're more like brothers than mates. Do you know what I mean?
There's too many bands that are just revolving doors and members, and it just doesn't work for me. That's not something to be proud of. Like this, if you want to be technical, this is our first band. I know we existed before this, but that wasn't really something that we didn't.
Still us.
It was still us. We didn't release anything. But if you want to look at it, Ingested, it's our first band, and it's like we've got this far with it now. It's like we all know where this band fits into our lives. It's something, you know, creative we love to do. So if we can last 15 years on tour and, you know, in the studio and stuff, why would you not just keep doing it until, you know,
we're all
until it's shit.
Until it's shit, yeah. I mean, it gets shit, but you know what is worth at the end of it.
It's not
what I mean?
It's not shit, is it?
No.
No,
you got to do that. You got to do like 10 shitty shows to get something like fucking rock stat. Do you know what I mean? It's worth it at the end.
Well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Like you could do a million shitty shows, and then you do one show.
Yep.
And it does, and all the shitty ones don't matter anymore.
Absolutely.
All the shitty days, all the things when things go wrong, because things can go wrong.
Yeah.
You could have technical difficulties. There could be problems with travel. There could be fucking problems with the venue. There could be problems with the fucking light guy, the sound guy, anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a multitude of things that could make it a shitty show.
Yeah.
And you can have a million of them. But then when you have that one good one, man.
It's all worth it. Absolutely worth it. It's
Totally
worth all that
it,
shit,
man.
It's worth all that shit.
And the thing is, as well, like, going back to our longevity and stuff, it's like, we are Ingested. Like, Ingested is us. Like, it's no one else.
Yeah.
No one else. No one new. So
It's like I said before, though, when you're asking about us, putting different influences into the music, or do we aim to be something like that? No, we don't. We've evolved. This is what we are, and that's a testament to it's a testament to us being a band and growing together. Anyone who's been a fan around from the start, they've evolved with us. They've grown up with us. This is what we are. This is how we've evolved. This is something we're proud of. So it's like, it's worth all the shit to be
Nice.
get to where we are now. Do you know what I mean?
Awesome. Well, look, I can't think of a better note to end the interview on. Sam, Jason, Sean, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. And everyone, go check out Ingested's most recent album, Where Only Gods May Tread, the re-release of Sink Cesspool of Liquefied Human Remains. And yeah, watch the space.
Nice one.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Big love.
Take care.
Hey guys, thanks very much for watching. It's YouTube. You know the drill. Be sure to like and subscribe to get a notification about the next interview, because you never know who it might be. I don't know who it's going to be. Could be Scott Stapp. Could be someone good. But like and subscribe, and there'll be a new interview every second week. Better still, you can listen to the Coffin Nail live on Keith FM. That's KEITHFEM.com. 6 p.m. every second Friday. And also, you can listen back to full episodes on mixcloud.com/Lightbreaker. And I'll chat to you guys again soon. Have a good one.